And Madiba gave us the gift, the greatest gift of 67 years of his life. And if anything, this gift gave us is to ensure that we always can refer back to some of the values that he gave us. And part of that, those key lessons go with us knowing that we need to be, we carry a responsibility to help build a country of our dreams.
The meaning of Nelson Mandela remains wonderfully personal. There are those in the audience this evening who spent years by his side as a family member or associate, those who were comrades of his, or who worked in support of him. Also in the audience are those who never met him, whose only understanding of him is through the recollections of others. Yet for all of us here, there is a connection to Madiba. Unlike many other leaders who have led us and passed on, Madiba occupies a unique space defined by a legacy to which all of us can lay claim. This is the rationale for the exhibition we are launching today that you may have seen as you were coming in, Unthreading Nelson Mandela.
Well, next year would be Madiba's centenary. And as the Nelson Mandela Foundation, we will tonight be launching the centenary program. As part of that program, we are then going out to members of the public saying to them, we need to be not only wary of those who would be abusing the name in order to make a quick buck. As you know, the Public Protector released a report in which it reflects that over 300 million rand was spent at the time that Madiba passed. And we're saying we should then be looking out for those opportunists in order for us to help ensure that we can respectfully be observing Madiba's legacy. We're pleading with members of the public that as we observe Madiba's legacy next year, we should be saying, how can we change another person's life? It shouldn't be about self, but more about how we change another's life. We know that at the time that we launched Mandela Day in 2009, all of us were clear that Mandela Day would be about service, which Madiba was, a servant to his death. And I think all of us should then use 2018 to serve.
And Madiba in 2008, when he turned 90, he was already preparing us that he might leave any time. And he said to us, it is in your hands. I just want every single of us really to take seriously that message. It is in your hands. It is in my hands. It's not in the hands of anyone else. We can hear agonize about how our society is what it is today. We can even, as Sel was asking, how can we explain that the legacy of all those, it's not of Madiba alone, of all those, how can we explain that it slipped through our hands? The answer is it is in our hands. It is not only, as we say, because the government is doing this, the leaders of these political parties are doing this. It is us. It is in our hands. I wish 2018 will help us to identify nature and take them to the heights. Young people, we need to identify a younger Sisulu, a younger Albertina, a younger Oliver Tambo, a younger Nelson Mandela, a younger Kathrada, a younger Lutuli, a younger Winnie Mandela, a younger, you name it. This country is extraordinary. It cannot in many aspects be compared to many other African countries I know of. This is a singular country in which, in a certain generation of its history, had the most extraordinary leadership as collective as anyone else has never produced. Think about this. Think about this. If this country, a century back, was able to produce all those leaders, which I didn't name all of them, for goodness sake, it has to be able to produce new leadership which is going to stand in their shoulders. It has, we cannot have any doubt, it has to produce a new crop of that collective, because it is in South African genes. It is in South African DNA. There's no reason why we will feel like we don't know where to go. We don't know what's going to happen. And no, we have to identify they are amongst us. Literally, they will not come from anywhere else. A new leadership of this country to stand on the shoulders of those we love so dearly, we respect so much, we are so proud of, but we want to be even prouder than those in 21st century are going to be.
I think it's important that as part of the centenary, we then also go back and say to members of the public that all of us carry a responsibility to help build a values-based society. Let's do that knowing that Madiba would be looking back, knowing that the next 100 years will look different because we have decided to help build the values that we need in our society.
So you and I, it is in our hands to identify them, nurture them, and let them lead us in these challenges of our time, and if you like, of their time, because they are younger than us. Mandela, Sisulu, Tambo, Masisulu, all of them, they were as young as anyone else. They started exactly when they were young. So, South Africa, it's in your hands. Stand up and take it. And I believe of all the activities which we can pledge and we are going to implement as a celebrations, we should get to the end of 2018 having some kind of clarity of who are the new crop of leaders of this nation.